Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever time you are joining us at the Tulsa World Scene um, wide-ranging cultural desk in three secret locations in the greater Tulsa area. I'm here with my colleagues, the lovely and talented Grace Wood and the lovely and talented Jimmie Tramel. All together, we make up the Tulsa World Scene section, and we try to keep you up to date on all things entertainment and enlightening that's going on around the city, which you can read about in the Tulsa World, available at fine news sellers and convenience stores everywhere and online at tulsaworld.com. I think I should start by asking Mr. Tramel to come on down and talk about his Friday story.
That was, I should have seen that coming. Come on down. Obviously, the words that make people giddy on The Price is Right, because they get to come on down and try to win money. The Price is Right live stage show coming to BOK Center next week, Tuesday, I believe, March 15th. You guys got an all-time favorite game show?
Way too many. I misspent a great deal of my youth watching game shows, and I don't, which probably explains what my father refers to as all that useless stuff I know. I'll think about it. Grace, you go for it.
Does Family Feud count as a game show?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. Steve Harvey is hilarious.
I used to like celebrity ones, like WKRP is going to play the Love Boat on Family Feud. Yeah, I'm all in for that. Sure, it counts.
I actually, last night I was at the performance of Tootsie at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center. The review of that will run Friday, by the way. For years and years, my seat's been next to two women who travel from Stillwater for the Broadway series. And apparently last week, her family was on Family Feud. And she asked if I'd seen it. And sorry, no, I didn't. She said, well, that's good. We did. She said they won the first. They won the first show they appeared on and lost on the second one. And on the first one, for those who don't know the show, they get two people to guess questions. It's the Fast Money segment. And if you get 200 points, you win $20,000. And yes, I'm ashamed that I know so much about this. They got to 199.
Oh my God.
They missed 20,000 by 1 point. And my friend Marcy, someone asked her if she had any regrets about being on the show. And she said, yes, my one regret is letting my middle daughter do the Fast Money segment because she didn't. So I've always been a fan of Jeopardy. Mm-hmm. And recently they had a woman named Amy Schneider who ended up winning like $1.5 million over 40 something episodes. And I got really, interested in watching that and seeing how she was winning. Cause that gets pretty obscure sometimes. And so you kind of feel like, you're almost learning something, or at least that's what you tell yourself, when you're watching, the 5th episode on a binge or whatever. So, oh, well, but, and that's the fun thing about game shows is that you can, you don't have the pressure of being under the lights and the like and all that, and TV cameras and all that. So you answer the questions early and go, ha, those prizes are rightfully mine. So anyway, well, I know that they don't dress up funny for The Price is Right, do they? That's Let's Make a Deal.
They do wear the shirts that say, trying to draw attention to themselves at The Price is Right. And coming full circle, the reason I bring it up is in Friday's Tulsa World, I went to the archives and tried to find some past Price is Right connections. And surprisingly, there's quite a few, and many of them are interesting.
Do we have any, are there big winners from Tulsa?
Absolutely. People have won cars, big money, all kinds of stuff.
The only bad thing about that they don't tell you until after you've won everything is that all of that is taxable income.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's in fact said she had to sell one of the things that she had won to be able to keep what the other thing that she won. So yeah, it's all taxable. So
Wow.
after taxes, Family Feud, if you split 20,000 among 5 family members, after taxes, what do you get to bring home?
Good. That I don't know, but I don't think it's 20,000. You might be able to get something from the mini bar at the hotel, but anyway, well, dressing up is the reason about that is repurposing things, and I think, Grace, you have something about a local person that is traveling southward to show off something unusual.
Yeah.
That's rather a suggestive thing.
Yeah.
This is a family show. We'll keep that in mind.
I wanted to ask y'all, I know cassette players were a big thing in the 80s and 90s, and since that was before my time, I thought I would ask y'all what your go-to cassette tape was back in the day.
Oh man.
Oh Lord.
I wore out Bryan Adams' Cuts Like a Knife cassette. I mean, completely wore it out. And saw the album at an antique store this week, and I think I'm going to go back and buy it.
That's awesome. Did you have like a cassette player that you plugged like headphones into, or was it mostly like in your car that you listened to it?
I had the portable one I took to the outdoor basketball court in Locust Grove so we could listen to our tunes while we played basketball. And usually it was a mixtape that we recorded off Casey Kasem American Top 40. We, bootleg recorded all the songs so we wouldn't have to buy the actual cassettes. That was how you stole songs back in the day. And I also had one in my car as well.
Very nice.
James?
Yeah, always up until my last car, all of them had a cassette player in them. And Lord, go to probably Van Morrison's Astral Weeks, because I have that in every form that it has come in. And that's kind of a perennial favorite of mine. But yeah, in fact, I still have a briefcase sized container of old cassette tapes for which I have nothing to play them on. So they're just sort of artifacts gathering dust. So what should I do with them? Pray tell, Ms. Wood.
Well, this week I wrote just a quick little story about this Tulsa kind of creative and designer, and his name is Owen Rendell, not sure how you say it, but he's the kind of creative force behind the cassette wallet, which are refurbished vintage cassette tapes that he reconstructs into wallets, because they're actually kind of the perfect size to hold like cards and IDs and stuff. So yeah, he's actually going to be debuting these cassette wallets at South by Southwest in Austin next weekend. And he's going to be dispensing them to people via vending machines. So they can, I believe, pay on their phone, and then he'll send them like a virtual token that they can scan on the vending machine, and then the cassette tape will come out. And then that's their new wallet, basically. So it's kind of a unique little invention that he came up with.
Yeah. Are these actual cassette tape holders that he somehow reworked, or has he made something that looks like a cassette tape?
Yeah, they're actual real cassette tapes that he kind of reconstructed. It's hard to explain, but there is going to be a photo of them in the paper when it comes out, so make sure to go check that out. But yeah, he is just like a super kind of creative guy, and he found a way to make them into like real wallets. So it's kind of cool that the, older cassette tapes that a lot of people don't really have a way to listen to anymore are kind of being given a new life. So
Yes, one of the things about one of the good things about the rise of the compact disc was that you no longer saw these tumbleweeds of cassette magnetic tape on the side of the road where it got fouled up in the player and they ripped it out and flung it out the window. And yeah, so I remember.
I can't tell you the number of times that I got some scissors and tape and tried to reconstruct a cassette tape after it had been mauled by, an eating machine.
I had actual, my father, for a variety of reasons, did a lot of things with audio tape. And so he had the actual tape that you could use that would not get in the way of the magnetic coating on the tape. And so I have done that. I have done that. Not, it doesn't last long, but I can't say that I did do that. I don't know what tape it was, but anyway. Okay, well, speaking of halcyon days, Philbrook has got opening on March 12th, Saturday, The Big Show, which is a collection of nearly 3,000 individual works of art by people in the Tulsa area age 18 and younger. It's an overwhelming thing. I mean, it's floor to ceiling drawings, paintings, sculptures, other things. And it's really a fascinating thing. When we think of, kids' art, it usually ends up on the, under a magnet on the refrigerator, at grandma's house. And there are some of the things there that you'd look at. Anybody who submitted something is in the show. So it's really something worthwhile checking out to see the way young minds are working today. Were you all big into drawing as youngsters? I know, Mr. Tramel, you have an affinity for the graphic arts, just looking over your shoulder there. But
yeah, I thought I could draw back in the day, but turns out I was pretty much an amateur. I won the art award in 6th grade. Does that count?
That counts. That counts like you would not believe. How about you, Grace?
When I was younger, I was really obsessed with the show Project Runway on Bravo. So most of my drawings were like my version of like little fashion design sketches and stuff, which, were completely unimpressive. And I'm sure it didn't really look like much of anything, but I really thought I was a fashion designer when I was in elementary school.
Well, that's one of the things I think you'll take away from this show is that someone asked me, one of the curators, because I hadn't seen the whole thing. They just got about maybe 2/3 of the show up, and they said, what did I think seeing all this? And I said it reminded me of how it felt to be younger, when you could, with a sheet of typing paper and a box of crayons, make something that to you was marvelous. It was your thing, and nobody was telling you it was right or wrong. And it isn't long in our lives before we get told, well, that's not good enough, or that's not this, or that's, you should have done, or it'd be better like this. And to go to this show and see, and some of the work is really of a very high quality. You can tell that these people have either innate talent or talent that has been very well guided. And then there are things that are, little purple stick men, and they're right next to each other, sharing the same space, having the same weight, of worth, and it's really an inspiring thing. I think people will go to the show and come out feeling a lot better about just to be around this much. Even when the stuff is kind of dark, there's still a kind of a joy to it. So that's definitely something to check out. And that opens to the public, like I said, March 12th. We've got a story about it in the March 9 edition of the Tulsa World. Well, another thing that has made a lot of people happy is the recent opening of the church studio that, Jimmie, you've written a great deal about, written very well about. And I think we've got another Leon-centric tale coming up.
Yeah, the opening of Church Studio is good for Tulsa in that it brings visitors to town to check out Church Studio and Leon Russell's life and career. And this will be proven the first weekend in April because Leon lifers, it's one word, I've been told, is a term for diehard, lifelong fans of Leon Russell. They're descending upon Tulsa first weekend in April for an 80th, what would have been Leon Russell's 80th birthday, and there'll be a concert at Will Rogers High School where he attended. For tickets, you can go to thechurchstudio.com. But Sunday, we'll meet some of these Leon lifers who love Leon Russell so much. They have Leon Russell's tattoos on themselves, or maybe they named a son after Leon Russell. All kind of interesting folks.
Do you know who's going to be coming the farthest for this, or is this an international thing, or is it?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was international. I know folks are coming from New Jersey and New York, so you know, that's one coast away.
No, and those seem like foreign countries from time to time. So, well, speaking of foreign countries, the Tulsa Symphony has announced its season. One of the things that they've been doing a lot over the past couple of years, in addition to their classical concerts, is what they call a films in concert, where they play the score of a movie while it's being shown. In the past, they've done Harry Potter films, and they've done Star Wars. Most recently, they've done Warner Brother cartoons. This year, in December, they will be doing the score to the movie Elf with Will Ferrell for the holidays. And the one personally that I have been told I am taking most of the women in my life to is going to come in April, and that will be The Princess Bride, which is, I think it's on everybody's list of favorite movies that have seen it in some way or some form or another, and most everybody quotes lines from it. In fact, we used to have I can't remember what position that she had, but she worked in the newsroom, and she came to work every day wearing a T-shirt with some quote from The Princess Bride. So
every day?
Every day.
What?
I didn't know there were that many T-shirts. I mean, they would repeat after a certain amount of time, but yeah, she obviously felt very strongly about that film. Well, people also feel very strongly about barbecue and about tacos, and we'll be talking about a couple of those things this week. If you are a barbecue fan, 1907 Barbecue, which has been a mobile food truck and then a permanent attachment at Cabin Boys Brewery, has opened officially in Mother Road Market. And it's very much worth checking out. And we've also, a few weeks ago, the first Tulsa location for Velvet Taco, which is a Texas-based chain, I believe. That's opened at 15th and Peoria, and we will be letting you know what we think about that. And that, I think, tells everybody just about everything that we know. If you want to listen to this without having to look at us, and in at least one of the cases, I can understand why you'd want to do that. This is available on podcast, and Apple, Spotify, and all the rest. We want to thank you all for taking the time with us, and we will gladly see you later.
Bye.
Bye.